But right now, we're blasting off into space for Lone Echo 2, which picks up right after the original Lone Echo on Oculus VR. And here to walk us through it, we've got the game director, Nathan Philippe, and assistant game director, Robbie Duncan, to talk about everything they've revamped to create an even more immersive experience. Guys, great to have you with us.
It's our pleasure.
Lone Echo 2 I got to play a few weeks ago, and I gotta say, it's such an immersive, rich experience to be flying around, floating in space, grabbing onto things, throwing. I remember I had this bug that kept jumping onto me, and I had to keep trying to take him off and throw him across the room in zero G. It was kind of crazy. For folks that may not be familiar with it, the first Lone Echo was here at E3 a couple years ago, won the Best VR Game award from the Game Critics. Tell us about, Ready at Dawn. Awesome studio, had done more traditional games in the past. You did this VR experience for Oculus. What appealed to you about doing Lone Echo? This idea of kind of zero G VR?
Yeah, actually, we were kind of fascinated about VR as a medium. And Lone Echo, it didn't actually start as the story or kind of the IP itself. It started for kind of a unique concept of movement in virtual reality that kind of gave you full kind of agency and control as a player of exploring this kind of vast open world completely seamlessly and naturally.
Wow. Well, it was a great game, and obviously it makes sense to come out for a sequel. One of the first big VR sequels, I think, if we're even getting to. That's a good sign it was successful enough to merit a sequel. So what did you want to do when you came around to sort of the second one?
Well, really, it was at the heart of Lone Echo is a story about two characters, Jack and Liv, and kind of their adventures in this kind of grand world and narrative. And so Lone Echo 2 kind of picks up right at the end of the events of the first game and lets us kind of have an even more expansive world, even more compelling narrative, and really build on the foundation of the first game.
Yeah, and I know obviously when I was playing, there's a human interest story, and one of the great things is there's real narrative to it. The story between sort of two players talking to each other, that communication. So tell us a bit about kind of the overall kind of narrative and the characters that we'll see in this game.
Yeah, like the two central characters in the game are Jack and Olivia. So Jack is the player character, and Jack is this futuristic android that's kind of equipped to operate in harsh conditions of space. And his friend, Olivia Rhodes, is the commander of this mining facility. Yeah. And one of the really interesting things about VR as a medium is just the depth of connection that you can have with a virtual character. And so hearing the response players had in the first game of like a deep emotional bond that they actually formed with Olivia, much as a real person, it was really incredible. And there's so many little nuances that we built into her character that really let it feel like she's kind of present and reacting to you. Maybe that's something you can touch on.
I mean, we found that in VR, it's really important to have the world kind of react to what the player is doing and honor every action the player might want to take. And so to make Olivia feel like a real compelling character, we had to have her react or acknowledge all the various things a player might do. So if a player, say, throws something at her, she should react to that like a person would and eventually get potentially frustrated. And so she has complex mood systems and all kinds of other reaction behavior that she can do to hopefully acknowledge player gestures, contextual behaviors, and things like that.
And that's like the power of like VR. It's like you have full presence over your hands. And so you like wave at her, she waves back and responds. Like the context of her character.
And even the dialogue system where you're sort of going in and kind of choices and whatnot.
And the degree of agency that it affords in like putting the player in this central character in this narrative, in this kind of vast open world, and having this convincing virtual human that feels real to you. It's kind of magical.
Yeah, no, it's a great experience. It's extremely immersive to be literally like rotating around in VR and ducking below things, and it's the demo that I got to play was super immersive, and I got to say VR now, especially with Oculus Quest coming online, I mean it feels like it's sort of having this renaissance moment with amazing content, but in so many new ways. So it'll be here at E3, and then do we know when it's going to come out yet?
Yeah, first quarter of next year, 2020. I don't think we have an exact date, but around then.
Okay. We got some new content to take a look at in terms of the E3 demo of the game that we're going to show people for the first time. And this is actually what I got to play. There are those bugs I mentioned, which you don't want to get on your body. There are these great moments in the demo where you're literally trying to sort of attract them to these other receptacles to keep them away from you. And you're cutting bolts and whatnot. But I had a bug that kept attacking me in the demo, and I was like, oh my God, you have a moment before you die where you can actually grab them off your body and toss them away. But it's an intense experience. And yeah, I got to play through this, and you literally have, it's just what I love about it is the world is so large, but you can kind of touch and grab anything in Zero G and use your thrusters to kind of move around. And tribute to you guys that you never really get fully disoriented, even though you're literally twisting around and grabbing onto things and boosting around, which is such an incredible experience. And you've added a lot more gameplay to it, which is incredible. So this demo, which will be playable at E3, is really quite the experience that you guys were able to put together. So you're big believers in VR, obviously, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, Lone Echo 2 from Oculus and Ready at Dawn. Thanks, guys, for giving us a sneak preview of what we can expect at E3 from you guys. We look forward to seeing more of it on the show floor. And now all my childhood dreams of becoming an astronaut can officially come to life.